Good morning, all of you. In this class, we will discuss uh, class 10th chapter light in physics. First of all, I want to say to you, I think you have all studied in earlier classes about light. What is light and how, on the basis of passing of light in different kinds of objects, classification of objects are classified. Now, first of all, I want to introduce what do you mean by light. What is light? I think you all people know about light. And before I start defining light, I want to give some broad idea. Light. Whenever someone say to you, define some words. Suppose that any physical quantity or any that quantity which is about which you know, still you cannot define that physical quantity or that quantity. Then there are two ways by which you can define that physical quantity or quantity. Suppose that this is your light. I think you don't know at the level of class 10th about light in depth. You have a very less idea. So you can define light only on the basis of utilization of light, how it is useful for you. That means on the basis of use, you can also define light. So I want to first of all define light on the basis of use. On the basis of use, as you know that light is a that factor which helps us to see an object. Light is a that factor which helps us to see an object, because without light you cannot see an object. Without light in night, suppose that in night you live in your room and you cannot see any commodities or any material that are put in your room. Still you cannot see where are which objects are placed. Why? Because there in night there does not reach light of sun. So overall, if you define light, so you can simply say that light is nothing. It is a factor, or it is a quantity that helps us to see an object. If you see this beautiful world only because of light. If there is no light, you cannot see even one object, any commodity. Maybe in childhood you will think with the help of only light, no, only with the help of only eye you can see an object. No, this is not absolutely correct, because I know this is as a medium that helps us to see an object, but it is not a single factor that helps to see an object. So you can say light. What do you mean by light? Light means that light is that factor which helps us to see an object. So simple definition on the basis of a use of light. How does it helpful for us? On the basis of it, simply you can define light is that factor which helps us to see an object. It is the simplest definition of light. And in a earlier class you have already again studied about it, but in next classes, in higher classes, you will again discuss about light in depth, and you can also study. That means you can again define light is electromagnetic wave. That means the different kinds of definition you will study, and also you will see different kinds of attributes of light. So I don't explain such kind of definition or such kind of property of light here. Just I want to define according to your syllabus. So light means that light is that factor which helps us to see an object. It is a very simplest definition. Now, next terminology, how do we see an object? Second topic in your introduction part of light chapter, you will see directly in between the paragraph, this question is arised. How do we see an object? What are the procedure? Suppose that I am visible to you. How in this video I am visible to you? Not this is the YouTube is a medium, but this is not a way or this is a physical vision that helps to see me. So in physics language, I want to say how do we see an object very easy, but about this you will see in depth in this topic, law of reflection. But before this, I want to explain how do we see an object. I want to run this part. Now, next topic will be your how do we see an object? How do we see an object? Suppose that there is any commodity. There is any commodity. This is your object, and someone here. Suppose that there is people. Now, this is the people who see this object. How he see this object? How does these people see this object? As you know that light is the factor that helps us to see an object. I have already told you, and eye also helps. In eye, there is a jelly material, or you can say lens, that also helps to see an object, which is known as retina, on which it is just kind of a lens on which light falls, and that helps to exist reflection of light, and finally you will see this object. Now I want to just explain how does this procedure exist here. Now suppose that there is a sun. Suppose that there is a sun. This is your sun. This is your sun. As you know that there are lot of light ray which incident from or emerge from this sun. There are lot of light ray which emerge from this sun, which incident from this sun, and falls on the earth's surface. Not only earth's surface, that means even different kinds of objects that lie on earth also incident on that objects. And when light ray incident on earth's surface or different kinds of material of earth, then most of the light energy is absorbed, and some of that reback in same medium, again. That means suppose that this is like sun, this is sun, and when sunlight falls on this object, there are lot of light ray that fall on this object, and when this light ray fall on this object, again this object reflect different light ray. Again this object reflect this, that means reback, or reback, you cannot use this word here reback, just you can use reflection. That means reflection, about which we will discuss in next class. This light reflected by this object in different way, out of which some light ray enters our eye, out of which some light ray enters our eye, and in our eye there is a jelly material, that means as a lens, which helps to make image of this object, and you will see how image is formed, and what is the procedure, and how many light rays minimum required to form an image. In next class we will discuss, but here only you have to as you know that this question is here as how do we see an objects. So I want to just explain it here. When light or any source of light, maybe bulb or sun, maybe artificial or natural, any source of light, when light ray emerge or incident on an object that I want to see, then that object absorbed some of light. Absorbed means that its energy is consumed, and some of them energy is reback or refracted, because that sometimes its intensity also decreases. That means its energy decreases, because when sunlight direct penetrate on surface of, suppose that sunlight direct penetrate your body, and same light ray if penetrate on your body after reflection of surface or any commodity or materials, then you will see direct penetration is very more having more energy, and it will be very more painful for you. So when light ray falls on this object, some of energy is absorbed and remains will be reflected in the same medium. It may be in other direction it also goes. It is not necessary each and every light ray enters our eye. A lot of crores lakhs and crores light ray falls on this object, and after reflection goes into eye of that means enters in eye and falls on retina, and that helps to form an image. There are a lot of light ray that incident on these objects, and out of only few light ray, if you count that will be definitely a lot of, but still I want to take only few light ray because to form an image only few light ray is required at least point object. So when light ray falls in this body, this object reflects this light and it goes or it enters in our, and in our there is a retina that helps to form an image, and finally I am capable to see, or we are capable to see an object or this object. I think you understand very well. Again, if you want to try to understand again, I will say how do we see an object. There is a simple process when light ray emerged or fall on or incident from any source of light and fall on any object. That object reflect light. If you want to some extra point, you can write here. Some of them energy and the light ray is absorbed. Some of them is scattered. That means reflected in different ways. But out of them, only few light rays. That means there will be many light rays, but I will take only few. And few light rays enters in our eye, and that helps enters in our eye on the retina, which is a lens, which is a kind of a lens that finally helps to see an object. I think you understand very well. Similar way, sometimes in examination may be asked or, but for conceptual capability you should learn about it. Now this is your how do we see an object. Third point will be your diffraction. In NCERT it is also mentioned superficially. So try to understand what you mean by diffraction. Diffraction, about this concept in higher classes you will discuss, because in higher classes you will see two kinds of theory, wave theory and particles theory. And particles theory capable to only explain few light phenomena. Because of that we will discuss wave theory also. And if you see here diffraction on the basis of light, diffraction on the basis of particles theory, I want to just explain superficially. When light ray, suppose that some teeny particles, suppose that this is your teeny particles, any teeny particles, and when light ray incident on these teeny particles, when light ray, I have formed this object too large, but you don't consider it as this size, just consider it as a particles, that means atoms or molecules as you have studied in chemistry, that means just like atoms. When light ray falls on these teeny particles, instead of reflecting this light ray, it has a tendency, that means particles or light ray having tendency to turn out around, that means turn out around the, or bend, or it has a bending property after falling on these teeny particles. And this bending property, that means because if suppose that this is a teeny particle and when light ray falls on it, it turns out it cannot reflect, and it turns out, means it has a capacity to bend light ray. It turns in such kind of a turning. So this phenomenon, that means diffraction, is the you can define it when light ray, simply with the help of examples you will capable to define it. In higher classes you will discuss about it in very depth. As a wave theory you will discuss, but here you have to define just as it. When light ray falls on teeny particle, what will happen? When light ray falls on teeny particles, it has tendency to turn around that means turn out around the teeny particles. And this tendency of light is known as diffraction of light. This tendency is known as diffraction of light. I think you understand very well. Again, diffraction of light. Now, in your introduction part, it is mentioned In introduction part it is mentioned mainly, but now we will discuss again for next topic. Next topic will be your, wait just for a few seconds. Next topic will be your now next topic I want to discuss with you next topic which is known as law of reflection. Law of reflection. Before starting this concept, I want to define what you mean by law of reflection. I think I don't like to frame this in this video, discuss this concept because video becomes lengthy. So I want to just become 15 to 16 minutes video, and I think in next video, because when I will discuss about this topic, at least it will take 20 to 30 minutes. So I want to leave this class, and in this next class I will discuss again reflection of light in very depth. So thanks all of you, and I will discuss in next class law of reflection.